His are the iconic images of iconic figures. He's captured searing moments and stirring movements, family and community, love and despair. He's traveled the world, absorbing the realities of developing nations and the glory of breathtaking landscapes. Peter Simon has spent more than 50 years through the lens.
What you're going to see is how I've managed to photograph my generation, also known as the Boomer generation, through my lens. It's been a long, strange, and interesting visual trip.
In his lecture and DVD series, Through the Lens, Simon reflects on a most celebrated career of personalized photojournalism. Chronicling is the family trade. As the son of Richard Simon, founder of Simon & Schuster, Peter Simon has photographed since childhood. An early authority, he was first published in Popular Photography at age 15. His unbridled passion first revealed. "It's really a miracle when you think about it," he wrote. "The very fact that a blank sheet of photo paper is immersed in a magic combination of complex chemicals and an image slowly evolves is simply unbelievable." In that same article, he unwittingly anticipated his own legacy. "It gives me a certain sense of importance. In years to come, hopefully, these images that I am creating will have lasting value," because he valued the moment. Very quickly, his intuitions and inclinations propelled him toward the legends in his midst, giants like Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy.
In my photo autobiography, I and I, Pictures of My Generation, there's a photo of Robert Kennedy campaigning in my hometown of Riverdale. This was taken in 1964 when I was only 17, but I was very proud that even as a youth, I could get a picture this stunning.
For much of Peter Simon's career, he has moved among the greats, the musicians that defined a culture, the Beatles, the Stones, the Dead. Thousands may have clamored to reach the stars, but Simon had the intimate perspective.
I realized at a pretty early age that I could use my lens as a means to gain a backstage pass to the lives of the people that I followed and adored. And it turns out these pictures have really stood the test of time.
His views of singers became our indelible ones, from candid shots to iconic album covers. His photography has been published in numerous magazines and books, documenting the Grateful Dead, the New York Mets, and Carly. Not to mention reggae, Jamaica, and life on Martha's Vineyard.
I've always had a really wide, divergent set of interests, and I've used my camera as a way of documenting everything that I really care about, and I call it personalized photojournalism, because I'm a photojournalist, but I personalize it.
Peter Simon came to chart a revolution. The eye of a generation. He was there for the strikes and sit-ins, the protests and the peace. He was there for the dream and after it. In cinematic parlance, and as many have noted, Simon was the Forrest Gump of the counterculture.
The late 60s was an amazing time for me to photograph a generation that just got turned on spontaneously to ourselves and one another. Here we are just dancing around Boston Common at one of those famous be-ins.
Tireless, Simon photographs still. His clients rave that he is thrillingly comprehensive, an incredible gift, and world-class. From his haven, his home on Martha's Vineyard, where he also operates his own gallery with Ronnie, his wife of more than 3 decades, he produces the island's annual, highly anticipated calendar. He takes family portraits, still finds the divas, and yes, still documents the catalysts of our changing times, like the Occupy movement.
After years of apathy, the Occupy movement of the fall of 2011 really brought it all back home again, just like the late 60s, when I felt finally there was a pulse and we wanted to change the status quo.
Simon has forged an extraordinary career through the lens. It is a history he recounts as he lectures nationally and internationally, with speaking engagements at universities, museums, libraries, and aboard cruise ships. And of course, here on this DVD. With his lectures, he leaves indelible impressions with audiences who rave. "I just wanted to write you to let you know that Your speech last night moved me and inspired me not only to be a better photographer, but a more joyful, peaceful, loving person. I was awestruck. There are a few times in one's life that they are in the presence of true genius. For Peter Simon, a lifetime of capturing moments has evolved into a cultural history of record. As Diane Sawyer once said, Peter Simon is a magician, capturing moonbeams in his hand and lens. He is the ultimate photo documentarian of the boomer generation.